Now, hello and thank you for joining us on Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. It's coming to you live from the Broadcasting House in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson Maina and our Sang language interpreter is Byron Abuli. So join us for the next half an hour or so for news within and of course across the country. And I take you straight to Meru County, where a 75-year-old man has died after reportedly taking his own life in Antubanthia, Morene village, Igembe, North Meru County. The incident happened after he allegedly attacked his sister-in-law with a panga, leaving her with head injuries. Now, according to Antuambui Ward MCA Frederick Mburugu, the deceased Isaiah Mutia is said to have been mentally unstable and allegedly took his own life using barbed wire after shopkeepers reportedly declined to sell him a rope. The injured woman, identified as Kaida, was rushed to Mutwati Sub-County Hospital for treatment following panga cut injuries on the head. Police officers who visited the scene urged residents not to interfere with crime scenes to preserve evidence as investigations continue. The body of the deceased was moved to Maua Level 4 Hospital mortuary.
Kifo cha mwenzetu Isaya ambacho kilitokea kutokana na kujinyonga mwenyewe, kajitia kitanzi, na napata habari kwamba alikuwa mgonjwa. Na nakumbuka wiki hii tulipatana naye siku ya Jumanne, akaniambia amekuwa mgonjwa kwa muda mrefu sana. Tukaongea, akaniambia anapeleka hospitali Mutwati. Diposa leo nikasikia kwamba asubuhi aliraukia kumkatakata shemejie, bibi ya ndugu yake, na baada ya hapo akaja pia akajitia kitanzi.
Now, from Meru County, we take you to Laikipia County, where Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Minister Rebecca Miano has called on communities to preserve and promote their cultural heritage, saying culture remains a major attraction for tourism or the tourists visiting Kenya from across the world. Now, speaking during the launch of the Voices of the Plains Laikipia Minority Festival launch in Mawarak, Laikipia North, the CS said tourists travel to learn about, appreciate and interact with different communities and their traditions. She assured participants that the government will continue marketing the country while ensuring that Kenyan culture and traditions are properly showcased and explained to the world. The event brought together minority communities from Laikipia County, including the Yanku, Samburu, Kalenjin, Somalia, or the Somali, Borana and Turkana communities.
Ukiongea juu ya minorities Laikipia, kuna minorities aina mbili Laikipia. Kuna indigenous minorities na kuna migrant minorities. Waziri, and I want you to note this. Na washeni niwaambie, umoja wetu ni nguvu, utengano ni nini? Utengano ni udhaifu.
Cultural activities as part of tourism, enhancing tourism, national cohesion na pia tourism ya hapa nchini Kenya. Mimi nataka nikupongeze sana kwa sababu wewe umekuwa kule Mount Elgon, umekuwa kule Nandi, hata nimeshangaa huko hapa Laikipia hapa.
Mila na utamaduni wa jamii unafanya watalii watoke nchi mbalimbali dunia hii kuja kuishi na jamii, kusikiza jamii na kujionea utamaduni. Kwa hivyo utamaduni umekuwa wa dhamani sana, na nimewapongeza wale wote wako hapa, zile jamii zilizo hapa, kwa sababu mumetunza utamaduni wetu.
And our Principal Secretary for Public Health and Professional Standards, Mary Modoni, has raised concern of the increasing number of children going missing, calling on the families and communities to take the safety of children more seriously. Speaking during Education Day in Kirogoya, Modoni raised concern over rising cases of missing children and increasing drug abuse among learners. She urged parents, churches and communities to protect children, promote moral values and avoid involving minors in family conflicts. Retired Bishop Daniel Monene Ngoro condemned violence against children and youth, calling on parents to safeguard them at all times.
When a child leaves home, is waiting for a school bus, and then goes missing. I think it would be very important as a society. We take this very, very seriously. Again, we are also talking to the students, and especially those who are in boarding and the ones who are in high school. The issue of drugs and substance use, which has become very rampant.
Those who are doing evil things to the young ones, they are accountable to God. And they are also accountable to the society. Because why kill the young ones who have not yet used their dream, their talents not yet?
And now from Kirinyaga, we cross over to Baringo County now, where concern has been raised over the increasing levels of stress, depression and health complications affecting teachers and security officers across the country. Now, speaking during a health seminar held at Kuriema, Baringo County, Baringo Police Commandant Mashari Wanjau said many security officers continue to struggle with mental health challenges, work pressure and lifestyle-related illnesses, calling for measures to address these growing problems. Now, teachers are also said to be increasingly facing emotional strain, stress and health complications linked to demanding workloads, economic pressure and family responsibilities.
The government should look after the health of our officers and make sure that wherever they are going, all the services are provided, because sometimes we have some challenges. Some other times you can go and you are turned back.
Some of the conditions that we have noticed, because we do get feedback, and the feedback we have is that there's a lot of mental health issues within the police service. Some of them, especially things like bipolar diseases, suicidal tendencies, are on the upsurge. Not just in Baringo, there are many counties with the same regions.
We feel that after this we will be better, better teachers, we will be more healthy because we now operate from a point of information. So for us, we have this tendency of visiting a doctor when we are suffering.
We are used with taking care of our juniors, looking at their mental illness, assisting them, but we have not had an opportunity for somebody to come and look at our issues that we have. And so we thank Top Hill because of this great opportunity.
Now let's revisit Meru County again. And now a 98-year-old man from Makandune village in Ementi South, Meru County, is pleading for justice after allegedly losing his 17-acre piece of land through what a family and residents describe as a fraudulent land transaction, as cases of land fraud continue to rise in Meru County. Now Karogo Nkoroi claims that the land, which was allocated to him by his clan many decades ago, was allegedly sold illegally by a neighboring woman using his name and identity without his knowledge or consent.
Tulikuwa tunaishi kwa hii samba miaka mingi, tumezaliwa hapo. Kuna mtu jirani yetu alikuja akachukua samba ya baba yangu ya Karogo Nkoroi akauza akisema ni yake.
Na mimi najua hii samba ni ya Karogo Nkoroi from 1970. Nilikuwa niandikwa kwa randi na nilikuwa na ndiro na mapu. Na nikijua mimi najua hii shamba ni ya Karogo Nkoroi, sijui msichana alitoka wapi huyu mwingine.
Karogo Nkoroi ni jirani yangu. Mimi ni mtu ya kuzaliwa 1973 na wakati nilizaliwa nikakua nilikuta wakati nilipata ni mtoto ako na akili na elewa maneno, nilikuta huyo mzee ni jirani yetu.
And our Kisumu Senator Professor Tom Ojienda has sustained calls for teachers in Nyando sub-county in Kisumu to be given hardship allowance, arguing the educators endure dire working conditions occasioned by the perennial flooding menace in the area. Now, Ojienda implored upon the Teachers Service Commission to exercise fairness in assigning allowances to teachers in the region, saying teachers in Nyakach, Seme, Muhoroni and Nyando sub-counties should be placed in the same category. Now, the flooding menace in Nyando has affected teacher retention in the sub-county, as many educators prefer transferring to more favorable areas.
What is important for me is, one, the state of interns we need to have confirmation. 2, the hardship allowance for Nyando. It is something I've raised in Senate, and it is important that we have some level of fairness, as Georgia said, that if teachers in Nyakach get hardship, then even the ones in Nyando and Moroni and other sub-counties like Seme should get a hardship allowance.
And now let's go to Laikipia County. Traders at Nanyuki's a new market are counting losses after their shops were razed by a fierce fire Saturday night. The cause of the fire could not immediately be established, though investigations are ongoing. Now, the fire started just a few hours after the close of business on Saturday evening, extensively destroying a large section of the market. Now, property valued millions of shillings was destroyed during the incident, and no loss of life was reported as traders had already left the building at the time of the fire.
Nguo zangu gunia 3 more than milioni 1 zimechomekea kwa hii store 15, na kuna wengine nilikuwa nimeweka kwa mgongo, nilikuwa na wakobolesha store watu 4.
Nilikuwa na hoteli hapa nyuma imechomeka, tumeenda hasara kubwa sana, hata hatujui tutaanzia wapi.
Nageomba serikali itusaidie iwezavyo, sababu tuko katika disaster kubwa hapa, na ni Mungu tu aliye pande yetu. Tunaweza sema serikali nayo ikiwa pande yetu, mambo yote yatawezekana.
Ninaomba sisi kama serikali tutaweza kuwashika mkono kupitia uongozi wa gavana wetu waweze kusimama tena, lakini ni mkasa ambao unahitaji pia marafiki na vile wale watu ambao tungeita wakuje watusaidie, hawa watu waweze kusimama, kwa sababu manyumba inahitaji kujengwa, biashara zinahitaji kusimama tena, kwa sababu mambo kama ikifanyika, it's a collective responsibility.
Tuweza ku-constitute committee haraka iwezekanavyo, na tumeweza kukubaliana kwamba tutakuwa na kikao kesho asubuhi saa 2 tuweze kuangalia ni vipi tunaweza kusaidia ama kuangalia ni namna gani tunaweza kuinua kwa hata kama ni njia ndogo kwa wafanyabiashara wetu ambao wamepata hizo hasara ambazo wamezipata hapa. Pili,
now, Nairobi is emerging as a fast-growing hub for electric mobility as adoption of electric vehicles continues to rise across the capital. At a major electric vehicle parade at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, industry players showcase the shift to clean transport with a 43-kilometer convoy of electric cars, motorcycles and trucks. Now, a highlight of the event was an electric truck that traveled 600 kilometers from Mombasa to Nairobi and back without recharging. Now, underscoring advances in the technology, Kenya Power says it is scaling up its charging infrastructure to support the growing demand as the sector continues to expand rapidly.
Power will support growth in infrastructure, ensure that we lay as much in terms of charging. We support the partners that actually work with us, like the GIS and AMAC and the rest. Our partnering is in the right time. And I think I suspect in the next 2-3 years, it may double and even be more. Mine was to convey that Kenya Power is ready. We want to walk the journey with you. We want to support you where you require. We are here for you. And we're even doing it in our cars. We bought some of the EVs and we are seeing good records.
We've experienced a lot of good things about this truck. It's a vision. We have charging systems everywhere. Mali, Voi, Mombasa. It's good. Let's go for it.
Now, that story takes us to a very short commercial break. Don't go too far. There's still so much more lined up for you.
Diana Chacha.
My name is Bryce.
We met almost 20 years ago. Both of us were born and bred in Kisumu. Nikabaki Kisumu, tukapoteleana. Do you know his pickup line ilikuwa nini? Ilikuwa? Ati umekuwa mkubwa. Kukakuwa na lockdown, hakuna kutoka.
Hauko irudi kwako.
I'm telling you, wait. Actually, if my dad watches this interview,
Atajulia hapa.
Atajulia hapa.
Mr. Chacha.
Makosa imeshafanyika.
There's a story that I saw you posted the other day concerning your son, Jasiri.
Yes.
He's turning 4. He's turning 4.
Yes.
But bado hajakuwa na speech yake. How is that affecting you as a couple?
I have faith that it will, everything will be okay.
And welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. And our religious leaders in Kiambu County have called for peace and national unity as political temperatures slowly begin to rise ahead of the 2027 general election. Now, speaking during a meeting organized by the Nation Interfaith and Unity Religious Group in Juja, the clerics and Muslim leaders expressed concern over rising political intolerance, hate speech and violence, warning that such trends could threaten national cohesion and stability if not addressed. Now, led by Bishop John Gishuri and Imam Rashid Yusuf, the leaders urge politicians to embrace responsible leadership and avoid divisive rhetoric, noting that Kenya belongs to all citizens, regardless of political, ethnic or religious affiliation. They announced plans to roll out peace campaigns across the country.
Kisiasa na wale ambao wanatumika sana kuleta furugu katika nchi yetu, na ndio tukaweza kuonelea tukishikana sisi kama viongozi wa kidini.
Sisi tuko tayari kuingia kaunti baada ya kaunti nyingine, kijiji baada ya kijiji chingine, tuizunguke nchi nzima na tuwaambie watu amani ni ya muhimu.
Ile kitu tunahitaji sana katika jamhuri letu la Kenya ni amani, ushirikiano na upendo. Watu wakae wakiwa jamii moja.
And now to Embu County, where a section of leaders from Embu County have strongly condemned the destruction of property witnessed during recent demonstrations in the county. Now, the leaders have said the violent acts witnessed during the protest were unfortunate and should not be tolerated in a democratic society. The leaders accuse organizers of the demonstrations for failing to control their supporters, leading to destruction of public and private property. They said the acts of vandalism were derailing development efforts within the county.
Uhalifu wa mali ya watu tena Embu County. Hao vijana wanajulikana, picha zimekuja kwenu, mnawajua, wachukuliwe, warudishe mali yetu na wapelekwe kotini.
Msipigane na msiue na msifanye mambo mabaya, kwa sababu wakati mmeweka moto kwa barabara ya rami, ile ni ile pesa yangu na pesa yako.
Kama iko jambo, wacha sheria ifuate. Mfuate sheria ndio tuweze kuendeleza taifa letu. Maombi yangu ni tudumishe amani na tusiharibu mali.
And our leaders in Narok County have called for unity, peaceful coexistence and collective action against social vices. The leaders urge residents to shun tribalism and work together in addressing challenges affecting the community. Now, speaking during the burial of a senior citizen and respected Ma Elder Kapoloe Ole Kamamia in Narok North Sub-County, Narok North Member of Parliament Agnes Pareyo called on leaders and residents to reject tribal divisions and embrace unity for peaceful coexistence and development. At the same time, leaders expressed concern over the increasing cases of illicit brew and substance abuse in the county, warning the vice continues to negatively affect families. As pressure grows for Africa to strengthen economic independence and create opportunities for its growing youth population, industry leaders meeting in Nairobi are pushing for greater investment in African innovation and creative industries. Participants at the Africa Soft Power Summit say the continent must move beyond consumption and begin building globally competitive African-owned platforms powered by technology, finance, and creativity. Now, the discussions brought together business leaders, investors, and creatives from across Africa with a focus on access to capital, entrepreneurship, and cross-border collaboration. The summit comes amid growing recognition of the creative economy as a key contributor to Africa's future growth.
Soft power is around how we as Africans are positioning ourselves as influencing the world, and so that event is around how do we connect bridges around finance, creative industries, music, film, finance, and how do we elevate that to an understanding that this is a key way for Africa to move forward.
I just think that more and more people should get involved with events like this. It offers a lot of opportunity to connect with people that you might never have the opportunity to connect with before or again.
But what I like particularly about this edition is the fact that all of these factors are made to come into play. And we have people in the room who otherwise would have worked in parallel lines, working together. And we're advancing that whole concept of, Africa can build the future it wants and not have to rely on the West.
It's actually very important for us to keep doing this so that every young person, when they come on stage, when they see what's happening here today, they say, yes, I believe in this continent. I believe we can build this continent, Africans by Africans.
I just think that
to Kisumu County, over 600 dairy farmers in Muhoroni, Kisumu County, have benefited from a consignment of 2 solar-powered bulk milk coolers with a combined 2,000-litre capacity delivered by the Lake Basin Development Authority. Now, the move is part of the government's elaborate plan to grow the dairy value chain in the region by expanding market access for the farmers and facilitate proper handling of milk. The farmers were challenged to organize themselves in cooperative societies in order to benefit from various government programs targeting dairy farmers across the country.
With these coolers, we are going to make approximately 35.8 million here in Muhoroni annually. That is going to transform the lives of many farmers. And I want to urge the young people who are here. Recently, we gave money for Nyota. Dairy farming is a business that the youth can take up.
My team is going to purposely target farmers in this region to capacity build them so that they understand everything that is required to make them competitive in the international markets.
Now, the construction of the Deputy County Office in Kiangala, a town in Machakos County, has come as a major relief to Kalama residents who have had to walk long distances in search of government services for years. Now, speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony of the construction of the office in Kiangala town, Kalama sub-county, Area Member of Parliament Caleb Mule stated that the project, which is projected to cost 10 million shillings, will be funded with an area NGCDF kitty. Now, several leaders who spoke during the ceremony, led by Nzioka Woita, a former chief of staff at State House, called for further development of government services for the benefit of residents.
Sasa kutakuwa na ofisi ya education hapa. Headquarters hapa Kalama sub-county kutakuwa na ofisi ya registration. Registration ni kusema nini? IDs mtakuwa mkikuja kuchukua hapa. Registration of deaths and births mtakuwa mkikuja kuchukua hapa.
Nataka nimwambie DCC wetu shukrani kwanza, kwa sababu wewe na timu yako umetusaidia sana watu wa Kalama. Hii vita
You know, the government has been urged to control bank interest rates to make loans more affordable to young entrepreneurs and small businesses. Now, speaking in Nairobi, a section of youth leaders drawn from the civil society organizations raised concern on the compliance window period, urging the government to amend the clause to provide a one-year transition and public sensitization period. Now, the group, largely from Sheria ya Vijana Project, an organization of African Youth Kenya, OYA, at the same time challenged the government to transition to renewable energy to avoid government over-reliance on imported petroleum products. They said the current fuel crisis in the country can be a thing of the past if the government embraces alternative sources.
We don't want for us to not comply within the time that has been given. So our recommendation is they can amend the clause to provide a 12-month transition and public sensitization period that will be also exempting businesses with turnover below 1 million annually from mandatory integration.
One thing that I can say with the finance bill is that it has to be an investment to the youth demographic, because at the end of the day, we make the largest demographic population of Kenya's population.
We commend the government's efforts to do away with VAT on electric buses and bicycles, including dialysis as well. We also commend the reduction of corporate tax for non-resident companies to 30% from 37.5%. In the current act.
We are also encouraging that at a time when we're struggling with the fuel crisis, we also start rethinking on how we can solve fuel challenges in the future. And that is majorly through transitioning into renewable energy, because Kenya has immense capacity to generate solar power, biogas, and even geothermal. Because if we continue relying on imported petroleum products, which are first, even pollutants of our environment, and then we remain in the hands of foreigners.
The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics Director General Dr. MacDonald Obudo has assured that data safety is among the key issues being prioritized in the proposed Statistics Bill of 2025. Currently, the public participation stage, which seeks to, among other things, transition the Bureau to the Kenya Statistics Authority. Now, Obudo says with the proposed changes, the organization will be accorded an expanded mandate to take into account emerging technological changes within the data space to ensure that data collected from Kenyans is used specifically for the intended purpose. He allayed fears of the potential use of data by government agencies to infringe on the rights of Kenyans.
Part of our work that we are doing at the moment is just to ensure that we incorporate the element of the big data, because there's a lot of information that is coming from various players, those who are generating data, and we want to ensure that all that information, we are able to consume them and make sure that they are safe enough without letting people get to see what they are not meant to see. We do not share information that relates to people's information, including using that data beyond the statistical purposes, because then, at times Kenyans would have some fear that maybe what the Bureau is collecting would be used by other government entities for other reasons. That I can clearly state here that when we collect information, it is purely for statistical purposes and it ends there.
Now, the State Department of Livestock Development will partner with the county governments and other stakeholders to implement timely interventions meant to address emerging change challenges facing the subsector. Now, speaking in Nanyuki town during this year's Mount Kenya Branch Agricultural Society Show, Livestock Development Principal Secretary Jonathan Mweke noted that outbreak of livestock diseases, rangeland degradation and poor market access are some of the obstacles affecting livestock production. Now, the peers announced plans for the nationwide vaccination campaigns, and investment in improved genetics through artificial insemination breeding programs. Despite this year's 4-day show, recording a rise in a number of exhibitors, only a few animals were on display, a situation attributed to fear of diseases spreading.
Our State Department of Livestock Development, we are implementing interventions aimed at improving productivity, enhancing market access, and strengthening resilience among livestock farmers and pastoral communities. Among the key areas of focus include investment of animal breeding and genetics through enhanced artificial insemination services and breeding programs.
Kama mwaka huu tunasema theme yetu ni promoting climate change agriculture, climate smart agriculture for and trade initiatives for sustainable economic development or growth. Please come and learn and go and practice. Muweke pesa kwa mfuko.
Now, the expansion of United Nations operations in Nairobi is increasingly reshaping the city's high-end property market, with the developers now targeting diplomats, expatriates and international investors. Now, a new hospitality and residential project unveiled in Gigiri says it aims to respond to growing accommodation demand near the UN complex. Now, developers behind the project say Nairobi's position as a diplomatic hub continues to attract global hospitality operators into Kenya's luxury real estate sector. The project is expected to create jobs and introduce internationally managed hospitality services in the area.
We launched the project like a month ago, 1.5 months ago, and today we're happy to give you a milestone of the actual project, how it's supposed to look like. And the next stage is to do the groundbreaking and get it going, deliver before the need of the UN expansion comes in. We came a place which is green, with a beautiful forest, with a river around 100 meters from us. We need to respect and live with the nature.
This shows how far hospitality in Kenya has come. Kenya is standing out with the quality of its hospitality. That was already the case. This is a step up to the next level.
People ask the right questions. Where am I investing? Location is everything. I always advise and say this to anybody looking for investment properties. Location is key. Location is everything. It can be a hit or a miss. It can be a make or a break.
Traders at Kongowea Market in Nyali Sub-County have accused Mombasa County Trade, Tourism and Culture Executive Mohammed Osman Ali of interfering with the market's leadership and fueling divisions through what they termed as outflowed and non-inclusive election process. Addressing the media on behalf of traders at Kongowea Market, Chairman Julius Mutegi alleged that the County Executive Committee member convened a meeting and oversaw the election of an interim committee without involving the wider trader community. Mutegi claimed the exercise was conducted secretly and without the knowledge of many traders, raising concerns of the legitimacy of the process and the credibility of those elected to represent traders on key matters, including market fee charges.
Tumepinga uchaguzi wowote ambao umefanywa katika hoteli. Kama ni kuchaguliwa viongozi wasimame katika hiyo market management bill, ni waje katika soko la Kongowea. Hapa tumesimama, watu wote watangaziwa ya kwamba kuna uongozi wa namna hii unahitajika katika soko. Watu wachague, wanabiashara wote wachague kiongozi wao na wale viongozi watakao wasimamia.
Lakini kwa uongozi wa soko, wanabiashara lazima tuingie ndebeni. Wasiri akitaka kuwa kiongozi wa soko, akitaka kuwa chairman wa soko, akuje hapa tuombe kura na yeye.
Na sasa tuko kwa siasa sahihi. Elezea wafanyabiashara wachaguane wapi? Kwa miraa. Usilete mambo yako kichini chini.
You know, Shaurya Bharadwaj of India won the boys' singles title during the ITF World Tennis J60 Tour at the Parklands Sports Club here in Nairobi. Now, the third seed upset top seed Ganuka Fernando of Sri Lanka 6-0, 7-6 in the finals. Now, Ganuka, however, teamed up with Saha Kapli Sena to clinch the boys' doubles after Bharadwaj and his teammate Hakim Kamal retired. There was also another upset in the girls' finals when third seed Harith Shri Venkatesh beat top seed Pallavi Patel in straight sets of 6-4, 6-4 in an all-Indian affair. Now, the Kenyan home fans were elated at least when seed 2 Stacey Yego Chepkemoi partnered with Milano Kalesova to win the girls' doubles title. That's where we end our lunchtime news on KBC Channel 1. My name is Giverson Maina and our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. Now, on behalf of KBC fraternity, we say congratulations to all Arsenal fans in Kenya and of course across the world. This is the day that they'll be officially crowned as EPL title winners. See you again next time.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Sasa hizi ndio zawadi umeniletea.
Kumbe Mosheo Chwangi alituweka katika pili kama sunde ameandikwa nini? Mkubwa ameandika vizuri, tunagawiwa sisi wawili. Wewe unaenda kuongeza mwingine.
Umesikia bununu? Tuna trend.
Ni kitu gani unanitafuta mimi?
Huyu mama dai ni mchambusito. Ai.
Yes. Milioni 3.
Nilipe pesa zangu.
Wenda hata kama ni kwa chifu.
Utafungwa, ngoja niende polisi.
Ole matope! Ole matope kuja bwana. Huko kimeumana. Bebe.
Naam, mtazamaji, karibu sana, hapa ndo nyumbani. Kwanza nikupatie kisa kidogo cha jamaa mmoja mbaye kidogo akili yake kama ilikuwa si nzuri. Alikuwa katika mto, mtazamaji, ambao ulikuwa na maji kiasi, na watu wote walikuwa wanategemea mto ule kuweza kupata maji kwa manufaa mbalimbali. Wakati mmoja akiwa pale mtoni, walikuja halaiki ya watu wakazi wa kijiji kile na kutaka yale maji. akaona haya maji ni kidogo na hawa watu ni wengi, nitafanyaje ili yawe yangu peke yangu? Akawaambia ala, hamna habari. Wakamwambia haijatangazwa. Bwana we, kuna gari